Hello, all my dear students. How are you? Hope you all are fine and enjoying your online teaching classes. I myself, Miss Nirupa, your subject teacher, computer, and today, what is the date today? 28/4/20, and chapter 1 we are going to learn. And in this chapter 1, we are having first chapter, history of computer from abacus to robots. So, what the topics we are going to learn? The abacus, invention of the abacus, and the second one is inventors of computers, and third one is generation of computers. So, these three topics we are going to learn in this chapter. Now, before starting the chapter, the computer were humans. Electronic computers were given this name. So because they did the work that had previously been done by human. So previously the calculation part was done by the human being. Then later on, many years after going, the computers has been invented. So computer was originally a job level. People had to do calculation to compute things like navigation, tables, tide charts, and plenty more options we are having. So let us see that in previous years, that is pre-mechanical computing. So here we can say for counting on fingers, they used to count the calculation part, and on the sands also they used to calculate by the help of the pebbles. They used to calculate the calculation part, and also the hash marks on walls and by the hash marks on bones. So these are the part before they used to do for the calculation purpose. So the very basic information of computer is, you can see as tally stick. So what is a tally stick? A tally stick was an ancient memory aid device which is used to record and document numbers, quantities, or even messages. So you can see here in the picture there are two tally sticks. With the help of the tally sticks, we used to device to record and document numbers. So and even messages also can be passed with the help of this tally sticks. Then afterwards, an abacus was invented. It was an early aid for mathematical computation. So while time taking, a quick timeline of the abacus history I want to share with you is, in 300 BC, abacus was invented in China, and in 1000 BC, the counting boards were used by the Chinese. And in 500 BC, Roman and Greeks also started using the counting boards. And in 300 BC, abacus finds wide usages as a counting devices in China. In 500 AD, Europe also starts using abacus. So some believes that it was invented by the Babylonians or the Egyptians also. So abacus is a mechanical device also, and which is used for the calculation and numeric data. So as I said you that it was invented in Babylonia, and it is also used to perform basic arithmetic operations, and it was the first calculation device in all over world. So now let us see the structure of an abacus. So here you are going to see the structure of abacus, as the frame of the abacus has a series of vertical rods. You can see here the series of vertical rods in this frame, on which a number of wooden beads are allowed to slide freely. So here the number of beads are allowed slide freely. So a horizontal rod separates the frame into the two sections. You can see here in the middle a horizontal rod which is going to separate the frame into the two sections, known as the upper deck and another one as the lower deck. So each bead in the lower deck and the upper deck we has a beads of a value. So here you can see in the upper deck we has a value of 1, and in the lower deck we has a value of 4. So it is our option, we can keep how many beads we want. So here is the unit place in the middle of the rods. We say this one as an unit place, and this is used for the beads to calculating the next. After abacus, John Napier Bones has invented in 1614. So John Napier was a Scottish mathematician and he invented a calculating machine. So, made of a set of rods carved from bones. So, here you can see in the picture Napier bones, and what is the invention of his, that is, it is the rods he has been, and it is used for the multiplication. Okay, all the operators to multiply, divide and calculate square and cube root by moving the rods around and placing them in specially constructed boards. So Napier bones experiment is used to help for the calculation part as well as the multiplication, division and calculate square and cube root also. Then later on, after Napier bones, Blaise Pascal has invented Pascaline. So here you can see Blaise Pascal and his invention as Pascaline. So in 1642, Blaise Pascal, a 18-year-old son of French tax collector. So he is also a French mathematician also, and it could add and subtract. His invention is used to add as well as to subtract the numbers. Next, coming to his another experiment after Blaise Pascal, Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz has invented stepped reckoner. So this machine we say as stepped reckoner. He is Leibniz and his invention was stepped reckoner, and he was invented by Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz. He is a German mathematician. He developed through Pascal's idea. So by the help of Pascal's idea, he has developed this machine, and it can also used to add, subtract, divide and as well as multiply. Square roots are also performed by series of stepped additions. So now after Gottfried, Charles Babbage has been invented computer, that is we say Charles Babbage as the father of our computer, and he is also a English as well as a, we can say, British mathematician. He designed the first mechanical computer in 1833. So in 1833 he designed a defense engine. So he has designed defense engine which was powered by steam to solve mathematical calculation. So with the help of this steam, because as there was no electricity was not there in 1800s, so after 10 years in 1842 he made a general purpose computer which is known as analytical engine. So this analytical engine also could add, subtract, multiply and divide in automatic sequence at the rate of 60 additions per second. Now see the pictures, we will see what is a difference engine and what is analytical engine. So these are the Charles Babbage invention of difference engine. Here also is one of that. And the next one is, this is the analytical engine which is used with the help of electricity. So these are used without the help of electricity. Next one is Lady Augusta Ada. So who is this Lady Ada Lovelace? Gave birth to the concept of binary arithmetic in the year 1887. So in which instruction were given in the form of zeros and ones. As you know that computer understand which language? Computers understand zeros and ones language. And with this, Lady Ada has given a concept of zeros and ones, and this was used in analytical engine. So Charles Babbage was her ideal. He has taken an idea from the analytical engine, and she also studied and translated his work, adding her extensive footnotes, and she was also a first lady computer programmer, you can say. And because of her suggestion that punch cards could be prepared to instruct Babbage engine to repeat certain operations. Okay. Next, after Lady Ada Lovelace, so Hermann Hollerith, what he has invented? He has invented tabulating machine. As you can see in the picture, tabulating machines been invented by Hermann Hollerith, and he was also an American mathematician and who invented the tabulating machine. It followed the IPO cycle. So this machine was followed by the IPO cycle, that is input, process, output. So So give input in the form of punch cards. So punch cards were the input form in this tabulating machine. Then later on, all these inventions of the inventors, the generation of computers has been followed. So now let us see the third topic, generation of computers. So computer generation is, we simply mean the different stages of development of a product. Okay, so with each new generation of computer, the circuit have reduced in size but have advanced as compared to their previous ones. So now we can see how the technology has developed and what's the future course we are using. So many of apps we are using, and it is very easy to use the app to make our work very easy. So now let us know how many types of generation are there, and we just learn briefly about all these generation. We have 5 types of generation: first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and fifth generation. So in first generation, the time period was 1937 to 1953, in second 1954 to 1962, in third generation 1963 to 1971, fourth generation 1972 to 1984, fifth generation 1984, and present we are using this fifth generation. So let us now briefly discuss about first generation of a computer. So now let us know, in first generation was characterized by the fact that it is operated on the principle of thermionic emission, we can say. Actually, we can say that the computer that was developed by the help of vacuum tubes, so consist of a glass tubes and wires, and the wire is used to carry data in the form of electronic signal. So first generation systems used vacuum tubes for circuitry, so magnetic drums for storing data. So in first generation, computers were very large in size, and the vacuums used vacuum tubes for computer calculation. Now let us see the picture of this first generation computer. So these are the vacuum tubes. So here you can see vacuum tubes. So these are the magnetic drums for storing data inside. You can see magnetic drums which are used to store data, and they were large in size and were called room-sized computer. Okay, and it was done in binary language, zeros and ones, and they had air conditioned room to keep them. So because vacuum tube exhaust heat. So these are the examples of first generation computers, that is ENIAC, UNIAC, EDVAC also is there, EDSAC also is there. So these are the 2 examples, you can know it. So what are the advantages were there in the first generation of a computer? So these computers fast and could calculate data in milliseconds, so easily available in expensive, and vacuum tube technology made possible to make electronic digital computer at that time in first period of generation. So what was the disadvantages they were having was, the computer were very large in sizes. As you can see, they were very large in size, and they heated very soon due to the thousands of vacuum tubes. So it used machine language only, very slow speed. So that's why, because of its disadvantages, second generation of computer were there. So in this generation of a computer, transistors were used in the second generation. So in 1947, William Shockley, John Bardeen, and William Brittain invented transistors. We can say second generation computer used assembly language and replaced the old machine language, letting abbreviated programming code to replace long in difficult binary codes. So it requires less space. The size of 200 transistor was equal to vacuum tubes, and it is cheaper than vacuum tubes, as vacuum tubes are very cost, and transistors work 40 times faster than vacuum tubes, and it is not as hot as the vacuum tubes, and it does not break. So it removes very little heat than the vacuum tubes. So in second generation of computer, we used to have logical units, calculation part was done, and high level languages also were used like BASIC, Pascal, COBOL, and the assembly also used to be there. So there were also a system software with the computer. So what are the examples of second generation? That is IBM 7094, IBM 1400 and CDC 164. So let us see the example of this IBM 7094. Here is that, and here IBM 1400. You can see here the images of the transistor which we are used in these all circuit boards, and one circuit board is used to consist of so many of transistors. So that's why we shall know about what are the advantages. It has a better speed, calculated data is in microsecond used to be done, and it used less energy also, and less power consumption and heat production rate also. So coming to its disadvantages, cooling system was required. So as it as it gets so much of heat, so cooling system also was required for that purpose, and constant maintenance also was required, and only used for specific purpose. So for specific purpose only it can be used. Next, coming to third generation of computer, integrated circuits was designed and used for the computer's third generation. So first ICs was invented and used in 1961. Here you can see the picture of integrated circuit. So these are the this types of designs has been invented. So an IC is 1/4 square inches, and single IC chip consists of thousands of transistors. In one single IC, thousands of transistors will be there. So in this way, computer size becomes small to use, reliable and more cheap, and massively become popular in business. Magnetic core memory used in these computers was used, and internal storage. So example of third generation successful computer of this generation: IBM System 360, IBM 370, ENIAC 90000 were the example. Here you can see the example of ENIAC 9000, and this one is the example of IBM System 360. Next, advantages of this third generation was they were smaller in size as compared to the previous generation. Yes, is it? And use less energy as compared to previous generation, and good storage, then better speed, and could calculate data in nanosecond. So the disadvantages were air condition was required, as before generations also was the drawback of that, and highly sophisticated technology required for this generation. Next, fourth generation of a computer, you can say it was used for microprocessor for computers. So modern microprocessor, usually there are less than square inch, and millions of electronic circuit contains. So today many electrical appliances like wristwatches are used in cars, vehicles, or all those things. So in microprocessor chips mark the beginning of the fourth generation of computer. Magnetic core memories were replaced by the semiconductor and led to the development of personal computer. So microprocessor were revolutionized the world of computer. So due to the microprocessor, the speed of the contractor speed and the internal storage capacity increased, and its size smaller. So you can see the example, that is Apple Macintosh, IBM PCs. So CD-ROMs came into the beginnings of this fourth generation of computer also, and the concept of computer networks also has been invented in this fourth generation of computer. So advantages are no air conditioning required, it's totally general purpose, less need of repair, all types of high level languages can be used in this types of computer. So high level languages, you can say Java, C++, Oracle. So these types of languages were used in this generation. So the disadvantages are the latest technology is required for manufacturing of microprocessor. Next, the last is fifth generation of computer. In fifth generation of computer, it is mostly based on artificial intelligence. So, and it is still in a developing stage, and it is a difficult on technological development is gained in the previous computer generation. So artificial intelligence used in the fifth generation of computer, yes, and artificial intelligence is currently in progress also, and it makes revolution in computers field also. And nowadays with the help of AI, people are preparing a lots of robots, and has made the world more faster and is currently in progress also. So and you have the ability to remember and work also. So let's see the example where the robots are being used in the fifth generation of a computer. That is army robots, you can see, doctors robots, pilot robots, walking robots. So with the help of these robots our work become very faster. So what are the advantages we can see in this fifth generation of computer is advancement in superconductor technology we are using, and these computers are much faster than other generation of a computer. So these computers are much smaller in size than other generation computer. So in this generation of computer we are seeing laptops, tabs, smartphones. So these are the generation of computers which we are seeing less smaller to smaller gadgets in our day to day life. So in disadvantages, they tend to be sophisticated and complex too. They can give more power to companies to watch what you are doing and even allow them to infect your computer. So these are the disadvantages which we are facing in our fifth generation, and fifth generation is our present generation. So this is all about your chapter 1. So please learn and do your work carefully. Thank you.